everybody, and welcome back to the Creative Kindergarten YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and I'm an early childhood educator in Ontario, Canada. And this is the first video in a 5-part series that I'm going to make all about the kindergarten classroom setup. This is probably something that I get asked quite a bit, and it's something that comes up a lot in September. So I wanted to start creating a little series to talk about different aspects of kindergarten classroom setup, and this is the first one, and it's going to be all about kindergarten classroom themes. And I know this can be a touchy subject, a controversial subject maybe, around kindergarten teachers and kindergarten educators who love classroom themes. So this is going to be like an explanation of whether I use a classroom theme, why or why not, and some of the reasons behind reflecting on our practices in the kindergarten classroom. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to jump right in and tell you all about whether to theme or not to theme in the kindergarten classroom. First things first, I have never had a classroom theme in my kindergarten room. I have never felt the need to have a classroom theme. And when I'm talking about classroom themes, I mean and this is not to, put any negativity out there or to, pile on to a teacher or an educator who does this. Everybody does what they need to do in their kindergarten classroom. I'm not, judging anybody who does this, but those classroom themes that could be like Dr. Seuss themed or Mickey Mouse themed or rainbow themed kindergarten classrooms. And I have never felt the need to do that, and I'll tell you why. Because I feel like if you're having a classroom theme, a teacher or an educator picks out the theme, they have it all set up, and the students walk in on the first day of school to a classroom that is already set up, that they have had no say in, and that they aren't able to, interact with and change according to their needs and their views of themselves. So in order to create a sense of belonging in our kindergarten classroom, usually the kids walk in and there's nothing really on the walls. There might be a few posters, but really it's bare so that the children and the students can start making it their own according to their preferences and their views and what they like. And we start taking pictures on the first day of school, and they get to create their own welcome bulletin board to welcome people into their classroom. And we add pictures of families, we add work that they've done, art that they've done on the walls, and that becomes our theme. Our theme is the children of our classroom. They get to change it. They get to really reflect on what they want to see in the kindergarten classroom. For things that are more like tools in our classroom, the alphabet chart, number charts, whatever might be on the walls that could be helpful for students while they're learning, I like to reflect on those things and how are they benefiting the students. So if it's a themed based classroom and you have your alphabet chart where the letters are this big, and then there's a picture, and then all around it it's succulents and shiplap or something like that, because that's the theme that you're going with. How is that helpful to the children that are in the room that are learning to write the alphabet? I really like to reflect on those things and really reflecting on the placement and where they are in the room and how are they beneficial to the kids. There's always going to be stuff as a teacher that I need to have up on my wall for me. I don't know, reminders, calendars, things that I need as an educator in the room. Those things are fine, and just reflecting on where you're putting them. Sometimes they're behind the desk, they're in a closet or something, because they don't need to be out for everybody to see them. It's just for something for me. And so reflecting on there's teacher things that I need, and then there's kid things that they need, and really reflecting on, if it's a kid thing, how am I really making sure that it is very helpful to them and it is a tool that they can use. So yeah, there's really no theme going on in our classroom. I like to create the classroom along with the child. It creates a really great sense of belonging for them, that they have some way to advocate for what they want in their education, and they get to change it to fit their needs. And I think that's really important, especially in kindergarten when they're just starting out their career in education, and you want to make them feel like they belong in that classroom, that they are worthy, that they have value, and that what they want and what they see has value. Another thing is that if you are, you know, putting up a new theme every year and you're putting, I know that there are some educators, not every educator puts up a new theme every year, but like you're putting up a new theme every year, you're changing your theme out, how much waste are we creating? I'm very cognizant in the classroom, like, you know, how can I reduce how much waste I am putting out there? Can I reuse things that we're using? Can I use recycled materials when we're making things for our classroom? But if we are creating a whole bunch of waste every year to, you know, buy new baskets, put up new posters, laminate everything, and then put it all up, it's just creating so much waste in our kindergarten spaces. So I like to make sure that, you know, if it is something that I'm creating for the classroom, that it is really powerful and really something that's going to be important for our kids, and just the cost associated with it. I don't think that any educator should have to spend their own money. This is not what I'm saying. But if you are going to spend your own money on things for your kindergarten classroom, I like to get the most like bang for my buck. Is it going to be something that is really going to benefit the children in our room? Then yeah, go for it. If it's something that you've reflected on, you're like, this is going to be awesome, this is going to help them in this and this way, then yeah, you can spend your money on that. But if it's spending money on a themed classroom, how much benefit are you getting back from that? And I like to really think about it as like a child-centered approach to it. If I'm centering the needs of the children in the room, the students in my room, then do I need to spend that money, that time creating things for a themed classroom, or should I do that somewhere else? And I think that if we're spending all this time on a theme because me as a teacher, I really like llamas and I want llamas and I think it's gonna be so cute to have that in my room, then that's a really teacher-centered approach rather than the child-centered approach. And I really want to be reflective of that whenever I'm thinking about things for my classroom. So really not doing things just because, you know, I think it's going to be fun and cute for the kids. I really want to make sure it's going to be beneficial to my students. Another thing is, like, we get to this point, I feel like, as teachers, and I don't know if this is the right term, but like FOMO, like the fear of missing out, where we see on Instagram where we compare, you know, these beautiful spaces that are photographed for Instagram and Facebook or Pinterest, and we see all these great spaces that are beautiful themes, and we see these snapshots in this moment in time, and then we start comparing ourselves like, oh, am I not a great educator because I don't have a classroom that looks like that? And I want to make sure that we are definitely not doing that. And I'm saying, as somebody who posts a lot to Instagram about like educator related things, like, we should not be comparing ourselves to what we see as a snapshot in time over on Instagram. I don't think that that is beneficial to us in any way, or beneficial to the children. Of course, like, get ideas, get, you know, I love going to Instagram to like learn from other educators and see what educators are doing, but I don't want to be comparing myself to what they're doing. I want to reflect on my own practices and reflect and grow. And I like doing that by learning from other educators. And so yeah, definitely not comparing yourself to what you're seeing over on Instagram or on Facebook or on Pinterest and what other educators are doing. Instead, look at what other educators are doing, learn from them, and reflect on your own practices and see if that's something that like fits with what like you would like for your classroom. Yeah. And so I hope that, you know, this first video in this series really makes you reflect on your practices. I hear a lot of educators saying things like, oh, I have a theme for my classroom because I have to spend 8 hours a day there, and I really want to make sure that I like the space that I'm working with, and that I think that the kids are really going to think this is really cute, and I think that they really love, you know, having this theme. That's a lot of like eyes in that kind of thought. That's really like that teacher-centered, I want it because this is how I want my space to be. And instead, I really want it to be, instead, as an educator, I really want to be reflecting on why I'm doing things, and is it because of the I, or is it because of the students in my classroom? And I made this comparison once on my podcast, and I think it's really, you know, kind of appropriate for this situation. And it's like, if you bought a new house and you walked into the house and somebody had already decorated it and put all the furniture in it for you, and it might look beautiful, it might be a beautiful way to decorate a house, but it's not quite the way you would have done it, right? Like the pictures and the photos and the things on the walls, the wallpaper that they used, the, you know, the style that they have is just not quite what you would have, you know, envisioned for your space. And now you have to live there and you have to spend your time there, but you've had no say in how it's been developed and put together. That's how I feel like the students are coming into the room, seeing like something beautifully decorated, but you know, they might not like rainbows, or they might not care about llamas or succulents or shiplap. And they've had no say in creating the space that they now have to spend some time in. So again, just as an educator, reflecting on things like that in your space and really thinking about it in that way. But of course, not everybody thinks the way I think. So I'd love to hear what you have to say about to theme or not to theme in the kindergarten classroom space. So please let me know in the comments. Do you have a theme? Why not? I'd love to hear your reasons as to why you either like having a theme or not like having a theme in your kindergarten space. And I'm saying kindergarten because I'm in kindergarten, but if you're in any other grade, please let me know as well. I'd love to hear from different grades and hear what you have to say as well. So make sure you leave me a comment down below. And like I said, this is the first video in a 5-part series about creating a kindergarten classroom space. So make sure you are subscribed to my channel so that you will get notifications whenever I put out new videos. And make sure you also hit that like button if you enjoyed listening to me talking about kindergarten classroom themes. I really want to thank you for joining me today, and I will talk to you all next time. Bye.